Guys, it's me again. YouTube's N'Golo Kante, Deluded Guna, DG, the man himself, Mr. Sauce on the Spill. Okay, enough being full of myself. Let's get into it. Arsenal, we know. I don't know why I got this pen in my hand still, but Arsenal, we know we're obviously playing our second Europa League game on Thursday. Yeah, away in Belarus. We know it's not the biggest of games, but we know we still want to win. 3 games in a week, we've been stitched up. You've watched the preview. I don't need to go over it again. But I've been reading through Wenger's comments. He's had a lot to say. Well, he said a lot of nothing and a lot of things to take away. Again, it's not the biggest of games, so he's not going to be the biggest of clues. I mean, he talked about Santi. He told you what I've already told you, in that Santi's not going to play before Christmas, and we'll be lucky to see Santi. If anything, he said January the earliest. He said he's got to play some reserve games. He said a lot. He said a couple other stuff, but yeah, let's get into what we can actually take away. Firstly, he said that he'll play an experienced side with a youthful bench, so you can expect to see a mixture of players like you've seen. Apparently, Ozil hasn't travelled, Alexis has, and a bag of youngsters have. So Ozil's obviously gonna get over his injury against Brighton and have to shake off any cobwebs then. Alexis, you'd like to think, would probably start. We put the game to bed. He's substituted very quickly by the 60th minute in an ideal world. So yeah, it's good for our young players. I believe Wenger spoke about there's historic problems of racism at the ground we're about to go to. Of course, I mean, common sense will tell you not to make this a racial thing, but common sense will tell you there's a lot of black players in our side. I mean, Reece Nelson, McGain, who's travelled, Jade Silver, who's travelled, Akpom, who's travelled, Alexis, however many guys are here and there, man. There's however many. So you can, obvious reasons, I don't need to spell it out. You guys are smart people. Yeah, you can see how things can go. It'll be a hostile environment, it'll be partisan, and I'm a big fan of this because I'll play not the racism stuff, but the environment, because that's how you get to see what someone's made for. It's all fine and dandy playing at the Emirates. Yes, it's nerve-wracking when you make your debut, but when the fans get behind you, when you're playing on a nice carpet, playing nice football is great. Away from home, at grounds that are not as nice as the Emirates, pitch-wise and around pitches that are very hostile, away fans where people who say and it's not right but nasty things. That's where you learn which players, young and old, have fight in them, have the courage to play for the club, have the courage to do things. And again, away from that, it's an experience that these players, whether they make it here or not, because not everyone will, they'll remember this, and it will aid them in their professional careers here or anywhere, and enable them to be brave somewhere else. So yeah, it's nice for the kids, the likes of Reece Nelson. You guys know I've been speaking of Vlad Dragamir. I'm so happy. I mean, he trains with the first team all the time, but I'm so happy he's made the trip. So happy. I mean, I've told you guys, go and check my video. He reminds me of, he's a bit like Jack Wilshere. What does Wenger say today? He's a Romanian boy. We signed him in 2015. We've had him for a while. Very Jack Wilshere-ist. Now, I don't know everything, but what have I been telling you? Even if we move on to my man Maitland-Niles, he said Maitland-Niles' best position is CDM, which we've all known he's better in midfield, so just play him there then. And he said he believes he believes he's ready and he needs competition and he's ready for a spot. But the main thing is concentration and being concentrated for extended periods of time. What have I told you guys? As someone kindly Snapchatted me coincidentally before I made this video, I actually said this exact thing in my Snapchat. They said I've been saying this since I very started in my 2016 videos, and it's nice to see people recognize what I'm talking about. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, there's a couple interesting players. I was nice to see Gilmore. Okay, me admittedly, and a lot of people don't really talk about these sort of young players. He's a young player who's technically gifted. He's a good passer. He can dribble. He can play in defense as well as midfield. It's nice for him as well because he's a good penalty taker as well. I believe last year he got a hat-trick worth of penalties, but that's irrelevant. What I was trying to say is it's nice for him because since he signed as a scholar and playing full time, he's been very unlucky with injuries, and it's nice to see him getting a run of games, getting fit. Obviously, whether he makes it his debut or not, flying with the first team, being in the manager's thoughts, you never know what could happen in that regard. It's nice for him. Marcus McGain can play centre half, he's a centre mid, but he can, Wenger likes that nonsense where people can play centre half. Need be, he can play at full back. He's a very intelligent midfielder, very hard working. He's actually a confident player with penalties. Normally a captain or something, so he's got the right attitude and bravado and things of that nature. I know you guys love that saying. So yeah, I'd like to see him get chances. Both of these players are very lucky in the sense that, and Sheaf, even though Sheaf's not in here, and to a degree Dragomir, in the sense that you saw Crowley, Benassia, obviously Zalalim still at the club, Torrell, you saw several other midfield options leave the club. So yeah, opportunities started to open up, because obviously if there's less bodies, it puts you closer to the first team. Wengers even said Marcus McGain trains at centre back for the first team as well in training and stuff. So that's interesting. That helps him as well, because obviously if you're at centre half, you have to, whether it's in training or a match, what I'll tell you guys, concentration, following your runner, anticipating things. And if he's a young player and you can play all the games you want under 23s, training with, imagine man marking Alexis Sanchez, you're going to learn very quickly, oh, I shouldn't get tight on him. Oh, I should get tight on him. Oh, let me drop off a couple yards. Oh, let me do this, X, Y, in the third. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Like, ideally, we put this in. I'd love to just. We know it's going to be a hostile environment. I don't know if the pitch is plastic or not, but the pitch isn't going to be great. You can bet your life on that. Ideal world, we do what United did against Palace, the Russian side, Moscow or whatever. Put the game to bed very early, score these goals. If Alexis is on, score these goals. Hopefully these young players score these goals and let them enjoy themselves, and we hold off the likes of Alexis very early on, and we think about Brighton at 12 o'clock on Sunday if you're in the UK, because we need to win that. Business as usual. We've got a decent run of fixtures. I believe after Brighton we've got Watford, don't quote me. That's not going to be easy. You've got Richarlison and their hard-working side, but these are the games we need to pick up momentum and start. We spoke about, I know I'm getting into the league stuff now, guys, but we know what was sort of spoken about at the start of the preseason and the season. Oh, we need to make sure we start off strongly. We haven't started off the season strongly in recent years, and that's come back to bite us on the bum. The same thing happened now, because of course we beat Bournemouth and Leicester, but it's been tainted by, well, the draw was a decent point, but reality is it's only a point. Lost at Liverpool, lost at Stoke, so yeah, it's very much open airs. But I'm waffling, guys, and I'm taking up your time, and I'm pretty sure you're tired. Guys, deluded Gunnar, just thought I'd hit you with some additional information in regards to Arsenal versus BATE. I'm out.